You ever wonder why billionaires seem to have a magic trick for dodging taxes while the rest of us are out here counting coins for gas money? Well, grab a seat, because today we're peeling back the velvet curtain on how the ultra-rich legally avoid paying taxes. And before you think this is some conspiracy theory, nope. Everything I'm about to tell you is 100% legal. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at your paycheck the same way again. The power of offshore accounts. When you hear offshore accounts, your brain probably jumps to some shady criminal activity. But in reality, these accounts are completely legal, as long as they follow international tax laws. They're simply bank accounts in other countries, usually in places like the Cayman Islands or Switzerland. These countries have lowered taxes, which is why billionaires love them. Instead of keeping all their money in the US, where taxes are high, they relocate it to places where they can pay less. Think of it like moving to a neighborhood with cheaper rent. If you can pay less and still get what you need, why wouldn't you? That's how billionaires see offshore accounts, except instead of saving a few $100s, they save millions. You could be wondering, how do these guys get away with it? Well, as long as they report the accounts and follow international tax laws, they're in the clear. Of course, this isn't something the average person can take advantage of. Regular people can't just move their tax refunds to a Swiss bank account and expect the same treatment. Interestingly, offshore accounts are just the appetizer. The real main course, a trick so good, even the government plays along. The "I'm broke on paper" strategy. Do you know some billionaires don't officially own anything, at least not on paper? Instead of selling their assets and paying taxes, they borrow against them to get cash. How's this even possible? Agreed, these guys have valuable things like stocks, yachts and art. So, rather than selling these assets which would trigger taxes, they use them as collateral to take out huge loans. Since loan money isn't considered income, they don't have to pay income tax on it. Take Elon Musk for example. He's worth over $300 billion, but he rarely sells his stock. Instead, he borrows against it, allowing him to live a billionaire lifestyle without paying income tax. It's like if you needed money but didn't want to sell your house. Then you take out a loan using your house as collateral. But unlike regular people, billionaires get super low interest rates because banks trust them to repay. Meanwhile, the average person has to work, pay taxes, and worry about their credit score just to qualify for a small loan. Billionaires, on the other hand, borrow millions or even billions while keeping their wealth intact. And you know the best part for them? If their assets increase in value, which usually does, they can borrow even more. This cycle lets them stay incredibly rich while paying little to no taxes. Sounds unfair? Maybe, but this is just one of the many financial tricks the ultra-rich use. And trust me, it gets even crazier. Now, before we go any further, I want to hear from you. Which of these tax loopholes surprised you the most so far? Drop a comment below and let me know. And if you're enjoying this deep dive into billionaire tax secrets, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a new upload. The charity but make it profitable loophole. Have you ever wondered why billionaires love starting charities? You think it's all about helping people. It's also about saving money on taxes. Let me enlighten you a little bit. Instead of donating cash, they donate stocks to their own foundations. This gives them huge tax write-offs while letting them keep control of the money. In some cases, they can even pay themselves salaries from their own charities. For instance, the Meta King, Mark Zuckerberg, pledged 99% of his Facebook shares to the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative. Sounds generous, right? But instead of making it a traditional non-profit, he set it up as an LLC. That means he keeps full control over the money, deciding how it's used, while still getting massive tax benefits. Now, compare that to an average person donating $20 to charity. You feel good, but that's about it. When a billionaire donates $200 million, they get a tax refund and still control the funds. And it doesn't stop there. Some billionaires even hire family members or themselves to run their foundations, which means they get paid while avoiding taxes. So it's a win-win for them. They look generous, get tax breaks, and still control their wealth. Meanwhile, regular people donate with no expectation of getting anything back. Is it wrong? Maybe. However, the ultra-rich don't just stop there. They've even figured out how to pay themselves while dodging taxes. The pay myself in stocks, not cash trick. Has it ever crossed your mind why some CEOs take $1 salaries? It's not because they're being humble, rather they get paid in stocks instead of cash, and stocks get taxed way less than regular income. Pick up your calculator. And let's see if you're a good mathematics student. If you earn $1 million in salary, nearly 40% goes to taxes. But if you make $1 million in stocks, you might only pay 15% in taxes. That's a huge difference. We'll look at the case of Jeff Bezos. As Amazon CEO, he took a small $81,000 salary but made billions through stock options. This allowed him to legally avoid most of the taxes that regular workers have to pay. Why does this work? Stock earnings are taxed differently than normal paychecks. If you hold on to stocks for more than a year before selling, you qualify for a much lower capital gains tax rate. That's why CEOs prefer stocks over cash. They get richer while paying way less in taxes. On the other hand, regular workers don't have this option. You get your paycheck, taxes are taken out immediately, and you never get a break. But billionaires, they can sit on their stocks, watch them grow, and pay barely anything in taxes when they finally sell. Think that's sneaky? Just wait until you hear about how billionaires pass on their wealth completely tax-free. The die rich, pay nothing loophole. You know the saying, old money stays old money. Well, there's a reason for that. When rich people pass down wealth, the government should take a chunk through estate taxes. But billionaires use a trick called the stepped up basis to avoid paying anything. Normally, if you sell an asset like stocks or property, you have to pay capital gains tax on the profits. But when someone dies, their heirs inherit the assets at their current market value, not the original purchase price. That means all their past gains are wiped out and the heirs can sell everything tax-free. So their families keep everything and the government gets nothing. Our case study is Warren Buffett. He plans to pass down billions without his heirs paying much, if anything, in taxes. This loophole allows wealthy families to keep their fortune growing for generations while paying little to no taxes. Let's just say the rich don't just stay rich. They pass their wealth down without the government taking a cut, and unless the laws change, they'll keep getting away with it. Lobbying. Billionaires don't just follow tax laws, they help create them by funding politicians who pass laws that benefit them. You want to know how it's done? It's quite simple. Billionaires and big corporations donate millions to politicians' campaigns, and in return, these politicians introduce tax breaks and loopholes that help the rich pay less. It's like playing Monopoly, but instead of following the rules, they write them. That's why the rich keep getting richer while regular people struggle to keep up with confusing tax laws. Most people work hard, pay their fair share, and hope for a tax refund. On the other hand, billionaires spend money to make sure the system works in their favor. As long as they can fund politicians, they can keep protecting their wealth and avoiding taxes. And that, my friends, is why billionaires will always have a tax advantage. But before we wrap this up, let's be real. At the end of the day, billionaires aren't breaking the law. They're just bending it in ways most people can't. If you're rich enough, the system works for you. If you're not, well, good luck with that tax return. And you know, avoiding taxes is just one part of the billionaire lifestyle. Want to find out the dark side of billionaire parties? Well, hit the subscribe button and trust me, you won't believe what goes on behind closed doors. I'll see you there.